Internet, this is Kawa, and welcome back to Kawa Minds! Yay! So I'm back on the Mhykol Minds fan server. I'm sorry that this recording has been so long and wait. Been pretty busy. So, first thing I want to address is that many of you kind folks gave me presents. For example, Iron Beast here, who used my anvil, which is okay, and Max here, who had some extra copies of some records. This should be everything, or almost everything. I have been using stuff, most notably the diamonds and also some of the food, but and this was my original copy of Ward. But generally speaking, this should be everything. So Max gave the records. I believe all of this is Nuclear Zebra. This is Iron Beast. And, well, some of this and all of this is Prince Haha. Not entirely sure though, I don't entirely remember. And in the future, guys, I would appreciate it if instead of either not leaving anything or only leaving signs, if you guys actually left books, because then I could hold on to them and remember, and that would be very handy. So, but thank you all. Thank you very much. I appreciate them quite kindly, and they'll come in very handy. So let's grab that obsidian cutter, which is an amazing work pick, and get going. Oh yeah, the ender pearls. We have an ender on the server now. The end is open, which is pretty great. And so I have an ender chest, and of course a double chest full of ender pearls, because that's what you do when you have an ender available to you, right? So, at any rate, it's raining, of course. As I said, the server is tangentially related to Minecraft, and thus it will be raining without fail. It's even thundering. And let's head over to my new project, which, oh, am I stuck in a block? There we go. So I said before that I wanted to find a place where I could build something really epic, take advantage of that nether star and make a beacon, a fully powered beacon, find a place that takes advantage of jump boost, you know. So over here is the way to something, to my new project, to where I'm going to set up and get started with all of the things. Yay! I did actually attempt to record this earlier, but didn't get to, because the recording itself kind of messed up. I'm trying to experiment with the new settings and whatnot, and just there were all sorts of problems, but that's okay. So over here, future home of Kawa. Kawa Minds! Shameless advertising! Whee! Yay! So this is my new spot. Kawa will live here eventually, as you can see. Not terribly far from where I was, actually. Couple of days walk though, so I prefer taking another when possible. And my /home teleport is still set to the old place. So this is a temporary house in this Estonian sense of it's not really all that temporary. Like, it's going to be very pretty for being so temporary. Oh yeah, my head's a dispenser now. It was a piston at one point, but then it got changed. Again and again. Oh well, whatever. So yeah, this is the basic outline of the first floor. The second floor is probably going to jet out that way a little bit, but only cover this part of it. and then we will have roofing on all of it. So yeah, that's what I'm currently working on. But yeah, this is just like a place for me to set up and get started while I create something bigger and more extraordinary. And I'm short 3 nether fences. I need to run off and do that sooner or later. But yeah. Oh yeah, and I believe fire spread is turned off on this server. So I'm not too concerned about being in this huge dense forest. I did plant a lot of these trees, by the way, so it's not naturally this insane. I like forest biomes and I like really dense forests, though I probably went a little bit overboard because it's really hard to navigate at this point. But that can be fixed easy enough, so yeah. I like that giant tree though. I like that being there. So anyway, yeah, this is just sort of a place for me to set up and get started and just have a place to settle in and work from while I create something bigger and better. I still do want to make that that squid tank, and I think it will be made out of this one down here. Basically just dig this out to be even deeper, and then yeah, I'm gonna dig this out to be even deeper and then top it with glass so you can walk over and look down. Probably work on the floors a bit too, you know, create some nice reeds and other pretty things. We'll see. Anyway, that's a topic for another day. For now, let's get this done. And yeah, I've been really sorry that I haven't been recording. I do come here to play a lot, but I don't get to record very much. On the well, Monday to Thursday, I work, and I have a really long commute, like nearly 2 hours in one direction. And when I get home, I'm really exhausted. And on top of that, not only am I super tired and cranky and not really feeling like, you know, dealing with the internet, well, with the hassles of recording, I should say. Like, my parents are here and the TV is on, which was a problem before but isn't as much of a problem now. But even with that, you know, it's probably the one time my partner and I really get to talk online. We don't live together right now. So, you know, I'm focused on things that are not making silly videos on YouTube. And then on the weekends, I actually go and visit my partner out a couple of hours from here. And then, of course, I don't have access to my desktop, which means I'm not recording. Let's stairs. Bricks. Another bricks. Okay. And I've got the obsidian cutter and a silk-stitch pick. Okay. But this weekend is a little different. It's almost Thanksgiving. And if you're not from the US, yeah, the creepers don't actually do explosion damage here. It's a public server. It's to prevent griefing. Anyway, for those of you who aren't American and don't know why suddenly all the Americans are freaking out the week before Minecon about, like, seeing family and eating far too much, even by American standards. Yeah, so the historical origins of the holiday are a little weird, and don't really matter, to be completely honest. But the point is, for most Americans, Thanksgiving is an excuse to go back home to where you grew up, you know, to your family, your extended family, and, you know, see each other for the first time in a long time and have a ludicrous amount of food together. Like, that's pretty much what it is. The fact that, you know, it's right before it's a month before Christmas means that a lot of people are starting to think about Christmas shopping and whatnot as well, and, you know, all of the stuff that's usually associated with ridiculous end-of-the-year American consumerism. Yay! Oh, that's actually easier. That's hilarious. And the thing is, like, while I was born and raised here in the States, my family was not. I'm first generation American. And for my parents, Christmas was the holiday that you went out and, you know, traveled to see family and ate too much. Like, there was no need for there to be a secondary holiday for this sort of thing. And so, also, I'm allergic to turkey. I'm allergic to all poultry, actually, including eggs. So, the Americanized version of the holiday never really appealed to them. And for us, like, we'd have something small to eat, but it wasn't necessarily something special. And certainly we didn't, like, make crazy amounts of American food like, you know, people tend to. But so yeah, it wasn't the hugest thing for us, or for me growing up. But my partner is a little more Americanized, and their family does the whole traditional thing, you know, turkey, all the trimmings, all that good stuff. So for the past 5 years or so, what I had done was I'd go over to them and have Thanksgiving dinner with them. This was also because at the time I was living in Florida, which is where we went to college, which is where we met, and which is where they're from. So it made sense, you know. It was like, instead of spending the money and the energy to travel 1,100 miles and, you know, celebrate a holiday we hardly celebrate anyway, I'll just, you know, see what would end up being my future in-laws and, you know, call that that. But this year is a little different because my partner, as I said in the first episode, is currently studying to be a mad scientist of mad science. And that entails doing, you know, research. Actual scientific research. And they deal with live animal samples. Fish, just to be clear. Though all animals are animals, all vertebrates are vertebrates, etc., etc. Anyway, so my partner has these fish to take care of, and they have to be fed every day, 2 to 3 times a day. And so that's kind of like the sort of thing where you can't really skip it, and it's hard to avoid. And the way it's working right now is that they will be here during Thanksgiving, and their lab partner will be here during Christmas break. So they are here in New York for Thanksgiving for the first time. And so my parents are like, we could do something. That's not a problem. But yeah. So now I'm sort of scrambling, because when I was in Florida, attending my future in-laws' yearly Thanksgiving thing, I always made pie. As I said, I'm allergic to poultry, which means no chicken for me, no eggs for me. So in terms of baked goods, I'm pretty much on my own. But in terms of, so usually my solution to this is just, oh, I'll make stuff myself with egg substitutes, or I'll make stuff that naturally doesn't have eggs in it, or stuff where the eggs are optional, which pie is in that category, because really, for fruit pies, like apple pie, or peach pie, or, well, peach pie is not in season right now, but in the case of apple pie, the only place you'd really use eggs is brushing the top with like egg whites in order to create that really glossy, pretty crust. But I don't think that's all that necessary. And even if it was, I actually brush my tops with butter. And it's not the same, but it does a similar effect and it looks very pretty. But anyway, so yeah, I wanted to make pie because I've made pie the last like 5 Thanksgivings. And besides of which, you know, we could use having a dessert and it's something nice and homemade and a little different. Poor thing. Anyway, so yeah, where was I? Oh yeah, so I usually make pie for Thanksgiving nowadays. It's become sort of like one small form of Americanization that I've made over the past few years. And the thing is, though, all of my pie making tools, I guess, are still in Florida. So I'm sort of on this mad scramble to find like a good rolling pin and a good, you know, pastry blender and all of these really like ridiculous things that no sane person would really want except me, because I care so much about how I make pie. But you know, no, not you. Yeah, so that's been what I've been up to lately. And is there no, okay, I think I picked all of that up. Let me think. Okay, so I will probably have this area just be like an open patio kind of thing. Have this area laid out. Oh, did I not change the sides? No, I haven't. Okay. Let me do that first. Okay. Okay, so so I've been scrambling to like make stuff for pie and get cleaned up around here and whatnot, so I haven't been able to go over to my partner's place like I usually do. And in a little lull right now, like oh god. Anyway. Like right now I'm between loads of laundry, trying to wash like all of the freaking sheets and stuff, just because they're staying the night, because it's a long drive between our place and where they live on Long Island. So we're all just, so you know, doing laundry and checking up on pie ingredients and just general madness. I haven't been able to go to Long Island like I like to, but I guess it's okay. You know, it's not an easy thing, but it's a doable thing. And okay, so that should be all of these. So what I want to do is make this room, maybe even extend this room out like slightly that way and that way. Yeah, like at least a little bit. And then have this just be a cutoff here. Maybe put fences along this, turn it into sort of a patio type thing. Build up the second floor, then roof it all. Okay, so far so good. So far so good. What do I want to do now? What can I do now? Oh yeah, most of this brick is from Iron Beast. I want to give him some diamonds in exchange, because I did say I would buy them, not just, you know, have them. But he didn't name a price, so I'm gonna have to think of something. I don't know what though. Let me know in the comments how much you think it's really worth, and try to give me a reasonable amount. Clay is not something renewable, and diamonds are very rare. So please keep those things in mind. Okay, what did I want to grab? This plank it all. I'm not the best builder in the world, as you can see. I mean, I'm repeating a lot of the motifs I used in my last build. You know, the sort of two-tiered floor, and this whole concept of having like tall windows and lots of tall windows and sort of pillar, using the exterior in a different block, and the stair thing. Like, I use the same motifs over and over again, but I think every builder does. I mean, like, probably the most famous example is Corrales and his bushy bushes, but even in cases not as extreme as that, everyone has their thing, you know. Everyone has their favorite look and their favorite blocks, and it's not a bad thing necessarily. It's something that if there weren't common themes, it wouldn't be yours anymore. And that's true of any art form, and I guess Minecraft building is now considered an art form in its own crazy way. It really tells you something when a video game can become an art form, and major props to Mojang for making that possible. So let us just extend this out a tiny bit. And actually, if you guys would like to hear like tips on cooking without and baking without eggs, or tips on my favorite apple pie, I guess, though my favorite in many things is copied off of a single blog that I'm obsessed with. My partner finds it hilarious that I'm obsessed with this person, but it is what it is. And okay, I will tell this story. So I am a huge fan of a blog called Smitten Kitchen. That is very different from Smitten Kitten, by the way. And if you're at work, don't look up Smitten Kitten. Smitten Kitchen, though, is perfectly safe for work. And it's a home cook here in New York City who is absolutely fantastic and very smart, and really knows how to work with like small numbers of ingredients to great success, or, you know, when she does go all out and use like 5-10 use like tons of ingredients, it's for a good reason, and just she's very smart about what she does. And she just released a cookbook, her very first cookbook, which is of course very simply the Smitten Kitchen cookbook. And it's lovely and it's brilliant, and I don't own it yet. I was going to go to the launch event that she was having on the Upper West Side in Columbus Circle, which was scheduled to be, I think, like the day after it. I mean, she didn't intend this, obviously, but it turned out to be like the day after Hurricane Sandy or something along those lines. So of course no one was going anywhere. And she apologized profusely on her blog, and all this stuff happened, and she said she rescheduled it for a Saturday. Now, the Tuesday was fine for me because I work not terribly far from Columbus Circle, so I was planning to just go after work. But I'm looking at that Saturday date, and I'm like, no, this is not cool. You're making me choose between, you know, spending time with my partner and Smitten Kitchen. This is terrible. This is a terrible thing, and no one should ever have to make this choice. Oh, God. These boots of controlled flight are saving my butt. Anyway, I really need to deepen that water. Maybe that'll be next episode. Anyway, so yeah, I'm like, I don't, this is a terrible choice. I don't want to have to make this choice. And long story short, I ended up choosing to go over to my partner's place and make them soup, yes, from a Smitten Kitchen recipe, and watch anime, and, you know, just be a bunch of goofballs together over beating one of my culinary idols live. And so that is the depths of my devotion to my partner, that I would give up things like that. Or what other things have I given up? If you watch my Twitter feed, you'll know that the profile message is, despite everything the footy kids tell you, I'm actually a huge nerd. Footy as in football, as in soccer, the European kind, the kind that actually uses your feet. I became obsessed. I first started watching seriously around, well, I first started watching in World Cup 2006. I started watching more seriously after World Cup 2010. And it's something I really do enjoy. This is gonna make me sound like such a bandwagon fan, even though it's not really true. But my teams are Chelsea and Bayern Munich and the New York Red Bulls. There, I said it. You all are gonna hate me. Not really, but I actually liked both Chelsea and Bayern years and years before the most recent Champions League final, which made that a very interesting experience for me. But yeah, I love soccer. I love watching it. I, you know, follow like 50 blogs about it, and just like it's a big part of who I've become and who I am. But I haven't, except for this weekend, because I was here doing laundry and, you know, all that stuff, I haven't watched a match like all season. And it's funny because I watched matches today. This is the 17th, and neither of my teams did well. And it's funny because other than the Champions League, that Champions League final, my teams had not done well in the years that I was following most seriously, 2010 and 2011. Only 2012, when, you know, that crazy CL final happened, did I actually have any like trophy success, technically speaking. So, but yeah, I have stopped watching. Not stopped watching. I mean, I still follow all those blogs. I still know, you know, where we are on the tables and all of that stuff. It's just, you know, I'm not playing fantasy footy anymore, and I'm not like obsessive about it the way I used to be, and it's like kind of sweet, but also kind of really sad, because I love it and I miss it. But that's okay. These are things I can deal with. These are things I can handle. And I have probably talked your ear off for plenty of time. I don't have a timer on right now, and that's probably a bad thing. So I'm going to stop it here. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you next time.